Hi, this is Chef Janie Pendleton, and today we're going to be making cherry pie filling. Now, I got these at Walmart for about $3 a pound, but I have a friend of mine that told me that she just got hers for free. Somebody doesn't use their cherries off their cherry tree, and she went and picked them all. I didn't get to them fast enough, so I ended up having to pay for mine. But these cherries come in like a little sack like this, and it's called Nature's Candy. And they're sweet cherries, and you could also get the dark cherries. But I thought for the sweet cherries that these looked heavenly. I mean, look how beautiful they are. Can you see that? Oh my gosh, just absolutely gorgeous and big. Now, in your cherry pie fillings and your other flavored fruit pie fillings that you make, you can add extracts. Here's cherry, imitation rum, cinnamon, coconut, anise, vanilla, caramel. Or you can even add these Lorraine candy making items here. This is cherry flavored candy fluid, and this right here is some cinnamon. So you can add a little cinnamon oil or cherry oil. Like I said, the extracts. That's entirely up to you. Just have fun with the flavors. Almond is good. Closed because I didn't want to get cherry juice all over my shirt. And you can see it is going to stain. So make sure you don't use a new towel. Use a clean, sterile towel, but don't use a new towel. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to pit the cherries. And I, of course, didn't wear white for this occasion. But what I use is, if you don't have one of those fancy cherry pitters, and you don't want to go out and buy one and you just don't have one on hand, then use what I use. I used, see the oil bottle? This is just an oil bottle top, okay? Okay, so we just took the gear off the top of that, and you end up with this small side and this large side of your oil topper. And you can see we've done several here, and I'm going to do some more here just to show you. Watch it. You just take off the stem, pierce the bottom like that, and push, catching the seed between your thumb, and drop it. See, we can actually go pretty quick this way. I'm pushing over this because I want the juice to catch in this bowl, but I catch the seed every time. And once in a while, we're just going to search through here and make sure that we're not putting in any seeds. And be careful, because I've actually gotten some of these. See, that works perfectly. Look at the size of that seed. It came right out, and I just kind of wiggle in there a little bit. Doesn't even damage the cherry hardly at all, as long as you pierce it first. So you just pierce it with this end. So look at the juice coming out of that one. And we want to catch that juice. And that's that. It doesn't get any easier than this unless you have a machine, which again, I don't have. Maybe someday I'll invest in one when my cherry trees get a little bigger and I have more cherries for myself. But like I said, I had to buy these because my cherries aren't on yet. And I don't know anybody that has any cherry trees that haven't already been taken or promised to somebody else. You gotta be careful there. So, I mean, cherries, I love cherries, so it's definitely my thing. Yeah, it's kind of painstaking. Oops, it's kind of painstaking. But let's be honest here, it is worth it. So look at that. And this is just an oil bottle stopper where I took the parts off. See that? That one right there's kind of got a spot on it I don't care for either. So let's go ahead and get rid of that as well. Dip in here. Get that pit out. There we go. Now, you don't have to stay here while I do all of them. I just wanted to show you how easy that this is. Okay, I'm just catch it in that hand and drop. But I mean, even if you had a machine, it's going to go probably not a lot faster than this anyway. So I think I discovered something pretty cool here myself. I'm certainly happy with it. And remember to go through here once in a while and just check and make sure that you haven't dropped any seeds in here while you're doing it. And we'll be right back. Okay, now if the cherries stains the bottom of your sink, all you need is a little bit of soft scrub with bleach and a little scrubby pad like this, and that will come right up. Now my husband just got home and said he got me some more bags of cherries, and we had just finished these. So we're going to be right back as soon as we finish. And again, we're going to triple check this and make sure, and do this in different batches. And we're going to put a little fruit fresh on this and a little bit of, just a little fruit fresh, maybe some ice. Keep these chilled until we get another batch done. And we'll be right back. Okay, we've just added 2½ cups of this Just Tart cherry juice. You can use your favorite brand, but I like this because it has no preservatives. It is, well, it's organic and it's really, really good. It's delicious. So we added 2½ cups of that. We added 3 dashes of ground cinnamon. You can omit this if you'd like. And we're now going to add 2½ cups of hot water. 1, 2, and there's 1/2. We're just going to keep the heat up here on a medium high to high. Going to give this a stir. Now, if you're using all water, you can add a little bit of red food coloring. But my method, the way I'm doing it now, that's not necessary. But you can add a little bit of cinnamon oil. You can add a little bit of cherry flavoring, and I think I'm really going to give this a kick. And I'm just going to drop in a little bit of this cherry flavoring candy making stuff, just a little bit. That'll give it a nice kick in my pies, and I won't have to add it later. Yes, you just found out my secret ingredient. Oh, that smells so good. You smell that now? That candy making cherry flavor stuff, it smells so good. We're going to add 5 cups of sugar. This is just plain white sugar. We're just going to add it in while we're heating it up here. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're a little bit can't cut, so I'm going to add a little bit more there. That's a good healthy 5 cups of sugar there. Just going to give this a stir while it's heating up. This is really good. Oh my gosh, look how nice and rich and dark this is. Now this is my recipe for it. Now from Berry Farms Foods, I get my clear gel, and you can't vacuum pack this like I vacuum pack most of my canning jars of powders because it's such a fine powder. You can use cornstarch instead, but I like to use clear gel, and I'm going to put in about 1/2 cup. We're going to start out with 1/2 cup and see where it takes us. There we go. I'm going to add this before your fluid gets too hot. Let's just add that right there and let's see how that goes. Take a whisk, make sure it's sterile, sterilize it in a little hot water first, and we're just going to blend this in. Oh, this smells so good. And we don't even have the cherries in here yet. Get a load of those cherries. Aren't they beautiful? Now we're just going to take our typical canning salt. You see that? I'm not even adding 1/8 of a teaspoon. Just a little shake. That right there is all that it needed. Stirring this. Now I like the way that this tastes. This tastes really good, but I'll tell you what's even better is just a little bit of imitation rum. Just a couple of drops. I'm going to kick it up a bit. That's perfect. That gave it that little secret ingredient, that smell. And then we're going to add the cherries, and then we're going to bring it back up to a boil. You know, a nice bubbly, it'll be popping about the size of hog's eyes if we do it right. And at least that's what my grandma used to say. And And if it's not doing that, then we might have to add a little bit more clear gel. Now I did put a little bit of fruit fresh on the cherries because we had so many to do. I did put a little fruit fresh here on the cherries, just a little sprinkling, and that's fine. You don't have to rinse that off. All right, so our water's boiling, and we're gonna put in our jars. That's really good, but I think it's gonna need another cup of sugar, so I'm gonna go with another half a cup of sugar in that. So that ended up being 5.5 to 6 cups of sugar. Let's taste it now and let's see where we're at. Now we're there. That's perfect. That is pie worthy. That's not so much sugar that it takes over the tartness of the cherries. You want a nice balance of flavoring. There you go. We'll be back when this comes up to a nice boil. Got a nice rolling boil going. One that we can't push down. So we're going to go ahead and add about 2 quarts of our cherries, along with the juice that came with them. And I'll tell you what, there's room in here. We're going to go ahead and put it all in here. Get all that nice juice out. We want to use it all. Okay, and then we're going to simmer this on low, so it's nice and bubbly. It'll take about a minute or two to bring it back up to a bubble, until we've heated these cherries nice and through. About 3 or 4 minutes. 5 minutes at the most. Because these are going to cook a little bit more inside this pie filling. Look at this. I'm going to show you. I'm going to use this white spoon here so you can see the consistency here. This will thicken up upon standing and upon cooling. Smells delicious. You can add different flavorings to this. That's fine. You can add a little bit of anise or vanilla, or whatever you like, or you can just leave it alone. But I think the cherry candy flavorings is just out of this world. Clear gel is gluten-free. I'm pretty sure it's made out of corn. I'll double check that for you, but I do know it's gluten-free. Okay, so we're just going to continue to cook this and let this simmer on low for another couple of minutes. Remember, you don't want to burn the bottom of this, so you want it to move really slowly. Now, our lids are done, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to move those over into the canning section. Okay, my battery's going out, so I just want to say that we're just going to put these in our quart jars, our 1.5 pint or our pint jars, and we're going to process these in a water bath for 20 minutes for quarts and 15 minutes for pints. All right, and the pint and a halves are the same as quarts as far as height goes. And you just want to fill these up to 1/2 inch headspace. That's 1/2 inch headspace. Wipe the rims, adjust your lids, and process it just like I taught you in all my other videos. Now I'm going to see if this doesn't die. But if it does, I've got a hubby over here that's he's still going, the poor guy. Yeah, but my little invention worked though, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah, it worked perfectly. So, okay, and we still have more cherries over here, a bowl over here to keep going. So when we get done, we're hoping to have some cherry jelly, cherry jam, cherry pie filling, which is right here. And we're just going to keep right on going. So I'll just hurry up and show you one while it's still running. If not, this is Chef Janie Pendleton, and we hope you've enjoyed this video. Let's get her filled up as fast as we can. If it goes out, it goes out. I do apologize. We're going to give this one last stir. Look how wonderful that looks. Oh my heavens. Heavens, heavens, heavens. Just going to fill this up like so. Absolutely gorgeous. I'll do one here as fast as I can. It needs more sauce. space. There we go, that's perfect. We got our 1/2 inch head space. Clean rag right into here like so. And wipe our lid like this. Remember I taught you, dip your finger into the clean hot water. Adjust your hot lid, 180 degrees or hotter. Hand tighten, and then we're going to carry this over, and we're going to put this into our water bath canner. You can get the air bubbles out if you want to, but it's pretty much out of here already. Isn't that gorgeous? Let's carry this over and put this in the water. And we're just going to keep going. Again, we're going to water bath process this, 20 minutes for quarts and pint and a half, and then 15 minutes for the pints. This is so good. If you could, oh, I wish I had smell a camera. Oh my gosh, this smells good. You know, I really enjoy bringing you these videos. And my husband, he's such a wonderful little helper. He really is. It's filled up like this. Remember, if you have leftover juice, be sure and can up this leftover juice. That's very important. Perfect. Do the same thing. Now, a quart jar makes 1 pie. A 1.5 pint jar makes a small pie. And then the pint jars, of course, would make a wonderful dessert. That's about the size of can you'd get at the pie filling right there in the stores, our wide mouth pints right there. So that's kind of a comparison. So it depends on your recipes and what you want to make them for. But I made a few here for pies, actual pies, because we love cherry pies. And usually I don't make just one, I make 2, so even if I make small pies, you know, I'll make 1 extra one to give away. They make great gifts. Get some more sauce in there. Perfect. Now if you want, you can get the air out. With this pie filling, that's not really necessary. You can put a couple more cherries in that one, I think. Okay. A little bit more. There we go. There we go. Now again, we're just going to take a clean rag. Clean this off really well. And then I sterilize these in my pot of steam water. And you just turn them upside down in a steamer basket pot. And that will keep them nice and hot. Because steam actually sterilizes. They use steam in hospitals, don't they, John?
Yes. You use your...
Yeah, use your dishwasher if you can. Again, just want to run a wet, hot finger over the top of that to get a good seal. I know that's a clean finger. And we're just going to keep going. And we'll see you back here when we're done doing this. Keep adding them to the canner. Okay, and here is batch number 2. And I want to show you this. When you know you got a really good batch, so you can see this from the sun, that it just kind of melts its way back in there. Look at that. Just kind of slides off there just like that right there. Look at that. Perfect. Okay, so this is boiled for about 3 to 5 minutes, and we're going to start filling up our 1.5 pint jars now. Trying to keep the amount of cherries in each jar even with the amount of the sauce. So once in a while you just want to add just a little bit of sauce and put that in there as well. See if we can get a better angle here on this. There we go. Okay, now after we let this boil in the water bath canner for 20 minutes, we let it rest in the canner for about 3 to 5. And that's fine, you can go up to 10 to do it. Now you'll notice that it's more liquidy inside now. These have already all popped. Hear that? They've already all popped. And you'll notice it's still a little liquidy inside. See, it's not as thick as what it was. That should thicken upon standing and upon cooling, okay? If not, then you can add just a little bit of cornstarch to this and reheat it. And add a little bit more cornstarch to it when you make the pie or whatever you're making. That's fine. Now my second batch came out even thicker. And we have it right now in the water bath canner. It's just going. We have 13 minutes left on it, so we'll just leave that alone. Okay, so I added another half cup of the clear gel to the recipe I was making up for pie filling. Now, even though it was thick, see that? Even though it was thick before I canned it, and I forgot to put vinegar in my water. See the difference with vinegar in the water and vinegar not in the water? But you can always go back around, go back to your sink here and wipe it down with a little bit of vinegar water. That's fine when it cools. Don't do it yet. Now those have already popped. Now I just pulled these out of the canner, and these jars, of course, were canned with vinegar in the water. Much better appearance. Look how beautiful that is. Can you see that in the sun? Oh, that is hot. I just pulled it out. Okay. So I'm going to leave it alone. Don't do what I just did. And do as I say, not as I do. And what you want to do is you're going to let this sit now for 48 hours. And in about 2 hours, 3 hours from now, you'll be able to test the lids and make sure they all went down. The first batch was fine. But get a load of how nice it looks having added, look at that. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's nice and gelatin-like and thick. So see, what happened was the cherries cooked and lost more juice when they were canned. So I had to use another half a cup of the Sure Gel, and that worked. Just be sure and mix it with a little bit of cold water, and then mix it, into the juice and kind of back and forth until you get a nice smooth consistency. So you want to add the cold and the hot together, and then you pour it back into the pot and give it a stir, just like you would a roux, just like you would for gravy. And then you get this beautiful coloring from that dark sweet tart cherry juice that we used. And I didn't have to add any food coloring. See this? I don't have to add food coloring to my stuff because I use the juice from when I canned the product. And isn't that just gorgeous?